Hey guys, welcome back. So last time we created this temporary file path, which as I said before, is how we're going to store the video before we convert it. So first, we'll store the video at this temporary file path, and then we will convert it to a widely supported file type, and then we will delete this one and only keep the new converted type, okay? So that's good now. So let's move on to the next part. And the next part we're going to do is just process the actual files uploaded data. So the video data that was submitted, we're just going to check that it's okay. Check this is the right file size, file type, etc. So let's do that now. What we're going to do is say $is valid data. So is valid data is a variable we're creating. Then we're going to say equals this arrow process data, like that. And we haven't wrote this function yet, but we will do it after this. So process data, and this function is going to take two parameters. One of them is going to be the video data, so video data, which is this variable up here. And then the second one is going to be this temporary file path, so temp file path that we created here. Okay, so that's it. Let's go and create that function now. So just below upload, let's say private. It's private because we're only calling it from inside a class. We don't need to call it from outside this class at all, so we can make it private. Private function process data, like that. Okay, and as we said, this takes two parameters. So the first one, we can say video data, and the second one we can just say file path, which is this temporary file path we're passing in. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is create a variable which can contain the file type of the video which was uploaded. So .mp4, .flv, .wmv, something like that. So we can say video type equals path info, like this, and path info is a built-in PHP function, and then file path is the first parameter, this temporary file path that we created, and the second parameter is what we want to get the information on. And this path info just returns information on a path that's provided. So we're passing in this temporary file path, so this for example, and it's going to return information on this. And one of the things you want to return is path info underscore extension, like this, path info extension in all uppercase. And this again is built in with PHP, and by passing this in, it knows to take the file extension from this file path. Okay, so this file type will contain, for example, FLV now. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to check three things. We're going to check the file size to make sure it's the right size, not too big, because we want to set a limit on how big the files can be that they upload. We're going to check that it's the correct type. Maybe they've uploaded an image by mistake. And then we also want to check whether there's any other errors associated to this upload. So just three things. So let's go ahead and check the file size first. So if not, so this arrow is valid size. So if not, that's what the exclamation point does, remember, is valid size, which is a function we haven't created yet, but we're about to. And inside there, we're going to pass in video data. Okay. So if is valid size, let's create that function now. So private function is valid size, like this, and it's a real simple function. Just has a data parameter, which is the video data, and all it's going to do, one line, just return data at size is less than or equal to this size limit. And this size limit is a variable we haven't created yet, so let's scroll up and do that. Underneath this private con part, we can say private size limit, like that, equals, and we can say 500 million. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros on there. And what 500 million is 500 million bytes. And 500 million bytes comes out to about 0.5 gigabytes. So half a gigabyte is the file size we're saying. Feel free to change that, reduce it or increase it as you want, but we're just going to do a 500 bytes or half a gigabyte size. So that's the limit we're using. And this data square bracket size, remember this data part is actually the information about the video, because from this is valid size we pass in video data right here, and you'll see video data comes from here. So Basically, this data at the moment is an array containing information about the file we uploaded. So one of them that we can use, one of the keys, is size, and it will return the size of that file. Okay, we're just checking the size of the file and making sure it's less than or equal to the limit that we've set. Okay, and then if it's too big, we can just say echo file too large, and then return false. And if you want to be more descriptive, you can even just say can't be more than, and then inside there we can just say dot this size limit, another dot, and then just bytes like that. But I don't think I have a file, at least that I know where it is on my computer, that's this size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this to a really small one. So I'm just going to actually set this to 5 for now, just so we can test it out. So I'm going to go back to upload.php, and I'm going to upload a video. So dogs.mp4, type something in there, and click upload. And we see file too large, can't be more than 5 bytes. And then ignore this part. This is just something we echoed before. So we know it works. Great. And if you really want to make sure, just set it back to its normal limit, refresh the page, which will submit the form, and you should not see the error message.